Okay, let me ask you something. Have you ever had one of those days or maybe one of those weeks where you are just running nonstop? You're checking things off the to-do list, you feel busy, you feel exhausted, but when you look back, you realize you haven't actually made any real progress on your biggest goals. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, then you are in exactly the right place. We're about to dive into a simple, but honestly game-changing idea that could totally reshape how you work and live. Let's get into it. See, this feeling right here, being pulled everywhere at once, that's the core problem that Gary Keller tackles in his book, The One Thing. It's just so easy for our attention to get scattered, right? We end up spread way too thin trying to do everything. And the result is we accomplish very little of what actually matters. We're just chasing too many things at the same time. And this old Russian proverb it absolutely nails it. It's such a simple picture, but it holds the key to this whole idea. The surprisingly simple secret to getting extraordinary results isn't about doing more. It's about chasing one rabbit at a time. It's about a radical, almost uncomfortable level of focus. But before we can even get to that point, we have to talk about what's holding us back in the first place. And here's the thing. A huge part of the problem is that so much of what we've been told about success and productivity is just plain wrong. They're like these little lies that we all believe, and they mislead us. They derail our best efforts, and they keep us stuck in that cycle of being busy but not really productive. Do any of these sound familiar? The idea that everything matters equally? That's a total trap. If everything is a priority, then nothing is. And the belief that multitasking is some kind of superpower? It's a complete myth. It's really just task switching, and it absolutely destroys your focus. And don't even get me started on the idea of a balanced life. Look, extraordinary results often demand you to be temporarily unbalanced, to go all in on what matters most. By buying into these myths, we're basically sabotaging our own success before we even get out of the gate. So if the old way is wrong, what's the right way? Well, this is where the core, super counterintuitive idea of the book comes in. The path to those huge, extraordinary results isn't about adding more to your plate. It's actually about going smaller. It's all about achieving more by doing less. And this right here is the fundamental mindset shift. We're all taught to think in parallel, to do a million things at once. But the truth is, massive success is built one step at a time, sequentially. That means you have to go small. You have to ignore that endless list of things you could be doing and laser focus on the one thing you absolutely should be doing. And this domino image just illustrates the concept so perfectly. Think about it. A single, tiny domino, when you tip it over, can start a chain reaction that eventually knocks down something exponentially bigger than itself. Well, success works the exact same way. That one right action, your first domino, builds up momentum that makes the next thing, and the thing after that, way, way easier to accomplish. That all sounds great, right? But the big question is, how do you find your first domino? How do you actually know which one thing is the most important thing to do right now? Well, luckily, the book gives us this incredibly practical tool. It's like a compass for clarity. It's called the focusing question. And here it is. Seriously, this is the question you need to write down, memorize, put on a sticky note on your computer. What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? This isn't just a simple question. It's a powerful formula that's specifically designed to find the single most leveraged action you can take in any situation. Okay, let's break this down real quick, because each part of this question has a really specific job. The first part, what's the one thing, forces you to focus. It forces you to choose just one thing, not make a list. The second part, such that by doing it, connects that one action to a real result. And then that final part, everything else will be easier or unnecessary, that's the magic. That's the test that separates just a normal task from the true first domino. Okay, so you've used the focusing question. You've figured out your one thing. Now what? You have to protect it. You have to guard it with your life. This is where we move from just theory to the practical day-to-day stuff. You have to make time for what matters most. I mean, does this pie chart look painfully familiar? For most of us, it really does. Our most important work, our one thing, gets this tiny little sliver of time while everything else, emails, meetings, random interruptions, just completely takes over our day. And this is a perfect recipe for staying completely stuck. So the solution is to flip that entire model on its head through something called time blocking. You literally look at your calendar and you make an appointment with yourself to work on your one thing. This is not something you do if you have time. No, This becomes the most important meeting of your entire day, and it is non-negotiable. You give your most important work a disproportionate amount of time, usually first thing in the morning when your energy and willpower are at their peak. And to protect that sacred time block, here is a super powerful mantra you can use. Put it on your computer screen, put it on your office door. When somebody comes to interrupt you, you can say to yourself, and even to them, "Until my one thing is done, everything else is a distraction." It's basically your shield against all the chaos of the world. All right, so we've talked about the problem of being spread too thin, the lies that keep us there, and the powerful solution of finding your one thing and then time blocking for it. Now, the only thing left to do is to stop just learning about it and to start actually doing it. So I'm going to leave you with this final powerful question. It's the small focus version of the big one. What is the one thing you can do right now, as soon as this is over, to start putting this idea into practice in your own life? Maybe it's just blocking off 2 hours on your calendar for tomorrow morning. Maybe it's just grabbing a piece of paper and writing down your one thing for your biggest goal. Whatever it is, that's your first domino. Go tip it over.